Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. It's been a little bit now since the big landmark announcement that yes, Tifa will be coming to Street Fighter 6. Some people were really surprised by the announcement, and other people, maybe we had a good idea where things were going. But either way, it's a reality now, and it's by far the biggest guest character in all of fighting game history. And fighting games aren't lacking for big names either. We got some big guests over the years, but Tifa's bigger yet. And there's a lot of questions about her and just how everything is going to work. And in this video, I want to tackle that. I know you got one question above everything else though. About the thumbnail, that's from Lord Rake, letting me preview some art officially ahead of time, and you should find this on sale at Evo as well. So when it comes to Tifa in a fighting game, what can we expect? Like, obviously, she's going to be very popular at a minimum, but gameplay-wise, that's the heart and soul of a fighting game character, so what are we going to get out of her? So before we start speculating, we do got a couple hints. So in case you only saw the original trailer that had Tifa debut, you know, that's great and all, but it doesn't actually tell you much, if anything, about her. She'll be in the game, that's about it. However, live at the Summer Game Fest, after the initial trailer, there actually was some words about her. Like, you know, some of it's assuredly marketing speak, but, you know, her design and movement in the game has been rebuilt from scratch to be Tifa the Street Fighter, not just Tifa the Final Fantasy character. But we got something a bit more meaty here. So one, she will be using materia as part of her gameplay systems. And without saying what it is here, they say that they have adapted an iconic Final Fantasy element to the battle experience. Now, realistically, that could be a lot of things. Like, could she ride a chocobo mid-battle? Probably not, although you can't discount the possibility. Will we get Tifa's iconic trample landfall deck? There's an outside chance, I guess. Although Ingrid would just hit her with Path to Exile, no fun allowed. So it could be a million different things, but when I think iconic Final Fantasy mechanics that could work in a fighting game, especially in regards to Tifa, it only really could be one of two things to me, could be wrong, but I gotta assume it's either the active time battle mechanic, where, you know, as your bar builds up, you can get better and better and more powerful moves. Especially this is going to be the, you know, more modern trilogy era of Tifa, right? So either the active time battle mechanic, where over time a bar fills up, then you get better and better moves. Like, say, how Gold Lewis's security meter works currently in Guilty Gear Strive, or just the limit break mechanic itself, which really could be as simple as it's effectively Street Fighter 4 Ultras all over again. You take damage, and eventually you unlock, you know, a special move, you unlock a limit break. Something a little bit different than your usual, here's your level 1, 2, 3 super moves. Because I don't think they're going to be reinventing the wheel on that. She'll have it just like anybody else. But it is some food for thought. Now, there actually is one previous example we can go to look at for Tifa in fighting games. So welcome to this game called Ehrgeiz's God Bless the Ring, where we got characters like Tifa, Cloud, even Sephiroth, among a normal fighting game roster. And this one's a little bit different, as it's kind of like a free-form 3D arena, but, you know, you still have highs, you still have lows. You still got throws, like, there's all sorts of stuff. Like, ever want to see Tifa deliver a brainbuster to Cloud? This is the game for it, turns out, right? So, this obviously was more contemporary to the original Final Fantasy VII, and not exactly like remake, because I don't think Tifa is going to be like a replacement for Akuma with like all these air Zanku Hadokens, right? But there is some stuff here. So Tifa uses Zangen Ryu, and it's just basically like a bunch of punches and kicks, and you can expect them to kind of be somewhat similar to how it is, say, in Final Fantasy. Same thing with the somersaults, lots of somersault kicks, you know, just like almost like right out of Tekken. She does these a lot, right, in Final Fantasy and in Ehrgeiz, so you can expect something along those lines. She even has a 360 grab. Will she have a 360? Probably not. But, well, stranger things have happened. She can dunk people in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth 2, it turns out. Now, admittedly, this game was a bit more, you know, simplistic, right? An average Street Fighter 6 character is going to be much more complicated than what this game has to offer. But just when it comes to, like, the basics of how her martial arts been presented with, like, just a bunch of kicks, straightforward punches, and flips, like, I think that will translate over very well to Street Fighter 6. But yeah, as far as like normals, command normals go, I don't think you have to look for much more inspiration than what Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Remake just specifically have to offer. Like these animations, some form of these will probably be various moves you see, and some of them will probably be various special moves that you'll see. Like the big flip into the kick, hey, that reads like a quarter circle back kick to me. Her uppercut, it's literally in the trailer, right? So Street Fighter characters like having uppercuts. Expect her to have uppercut, very safe bet. Or perhaps some of her more extended moves that'll lead into the uppercut. Some of her move list is Street Fighter 101. Will she have a dive kick? Yeah, fighting games tend to have dive kicks, makes sense. Something like Reverse Gale reads almost like quarter circle back kick like EX launcher. Overpower's a little too close to Cannon Drill. Like, I don't think she should be Cammy 2.0 necessarily with just like this and like dive kick, but hey, we'll see. Star Shower's a must. Like, this is one of the most spammed moves you'll see in like the Final Fantasy trilogy, the new trilogy. And I feel like this is like, if not a super, like one of your more go-to EX moves. And again, with her being custom built for being a fighting game character, yo, ring some bells. A super active projectile that just sits on the screen while you do other things. Yeah, like that could be a level 2 super. That could be something really, really, really annoying. Other moves, like she has multiple ways to just end in the big Tetsu Zanko, the Iron Mountain shoulder, right? That's kind of fighting game classic 101. And yeah, I don't know how. It could just be a base special. It could be a command normal. But I feel like it'll make an appearance some way, somehow. And then there's the fact that she's like a stack-based install character, right? Like she can build up the stacks to get bonuses. Again, that's going to be very Street Fighter 6 coded. Lots of characters do that. So it could be like a stack you just build, like say Jury or Lily, or maybe this could be an alternative form of like a level 2 install. And like I sort of joked about the command grab, but like, you know, there's precedent now with the Remake and Rebirth games. And all of her limit breaks are great candidates for super. Like we mentioned the somersault before, some version of the somersault will be a super. Like even if it's just like the level 1, she has all the uppercuts. How about the dolphin uppercut? That's like kind of the go-to iconic move. If anything is, maybe that could be a level 3. But then again, there's just a lot to pull from. Like, you know, we got meter strike. Like there's a lot of moves. She's not hurting to be a fighting game character. If anything, she's going to have more moves available to her than we can potentially fit into the game, unless we're just going to give her like, you know, 10 command normals. And then there's the fact that she's going to be using materia some way, somehow. How does that play in? Like at a base level, like ice, fire, lightning spells, sure. Maybe ice spells let you do like a capture state so you can get a free combo. Fire will let you do damage over time. But maybe it's also like potentially with, say, an active turn battle mechanic with a bar building over time. So if you do a move right away, it'll be Blizzard. Then you do it a little bit later, it'll be Blizzara. And then if you wait for the bar to fill out, then it'll be Blizzaga, the biggest Blizzard spell of them all. That's potentially one way they could go about just fitting magic into it. But then again, they could get weirder with it, right? It doesn't just have to be the elemental stuff. It could be like haste or slow or shell or something, right? And add a lot of like not in Street Fighter 6 effects. Although, to be fair, I don't think they're going to rock the boat that much. But then again, if you want to get weird with it. Maybe a summon. Imagine Shiva or a Frit all of a sudden. Zangief getting zoned out by Shiva's diamond dust? I don't know. Like, it's a crazy thought, but like, Tifa is already crazy enough as it is, so let's double down. Let's just go nuts with it, right? And then there's costumes. So obviously Tifa has the main default look, which is garnered some attention over the years, but she also has some other outfits that people certainly are fans of. If tradition holds, she'll get at least 2 more. One of them you would expect to be a fan favorite, you know, to help juice the sales. Although, if I get a say in the matter, I just want to put it out there, I'm very much a Tifa in the purple dress kind of guy. That one just sort of works for me. That said, whatever outfit 3 is, I do think they should try to make something a bit more unique, a bit more Street Fighter flavored, like try something that hasn't been done. I'd say, you know, sell us all the costumes, because that would make people very happy, but they always sort of have trouble selling us costumes, so I guess we'll see how that turns out. And I guess another big question is, what is their overall difficulty going to be like? So on paper, because assuredly she is the reason people are buying the season pass. Jasmine looks cool. I'm a member of the Arjun Nation myself. Bosch is, I don't. Bosch is Bosch, whatever, right? But people are going to be buying this because of Tifa. So you would think she's not going to be too difficult. But keep in mind, someone like Chun-Li is Chun-Li. And yet she is one of the most difficult characters in Street Fighter 6, which I never truly understood. You know, flagship pretty lady. This isn't King of Fighters, right? Like where sometimes flagship pretty ladies are some of the most difficult characters in the game. In Street Fighter, it shouldn't be too difficult, but will Tifa be more difficult or not? I still think she'll be on the easier side. However, I think she's going to have a lot more options available to her than the average character. If only because this is a premier signature character that's going to sell the next million copies of the game. So you want her to shine as bright as possible. Thus, she's going to have everything and more. And of course, it's far too early to make any tier list assumptions or anything like that, right? But like, I don't think she's going to debut as a weak character. There's very little incentive for that, especially because they know what makes a strong character these days. Get ready for those Tifa throw loops, y'all, because that's a very real possibility. I hate even speaking the phrase Tifa throw loop into existence, but this is the reality we live in now. But anyways, my friends, that's just some of my thoughts and speculation on where Tifa might be going in Street Fighter 6. Again, this will be the more modern trilogy version of the character, so expect a lot from there. But as for the particulars, I would love to hear your opinions on the matter, so please post in the comments below. But otherwise, that's it for me and that's it for the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Street Fighter.
Love, yeah.